Marbles are often colored designs magnified by a clear glass lens. There are many types of marbles. In this section we will demonstrate an opposing spiral and a base head marble. Marbles can be complete pieces in and of themselves and also can be used ornamentally on larger pieces. First we will demonstrate an opposing spiral. Start by drawing a line on one side of the rod. Follow with a line on the opposite side and then in between each of those. Continue drawing lines in between lines to make your line pattern even. Make sure your lines are drawn at an equal distance down the rod. This is important to achieve the desired artistic effect of this marble. When you draw your second set of lines, you will want them to come to the same point. After completing your first set of lines, heat them evenly and fully condense them. Using a scrap rod, in my case 6mm, grab the end of your artwork and twist the rod with the art on it. This will save you time because you don't have to attach a puntee. This technique is very similar to tearing and becomes tearing once the twist has been completed. Remove any extra glass from the end of your rod and tear the end of your art until you have a fairly clean termination. Don't spend too much time perfecting your termination because later in the demonstration we will end up tearing it again. I started with cobalt blue lines and now I will use caramel. Draw the lines the same way we did in the first set of lines, starting with 2 lines on opposite sides, then draw lines in between those and so forth. We are now going to speed up the video as I draw the rest of the lines. Remember to draw your lines the same distance as the first set of lines. After completing the second set of lines, attach a hot puntee. We will attach a puntee this time because there is more demand for control on the second twist. Start to heat your lines, but be careful not to heat too fast. Begin to twist in the opposite direction that you twisted your first set of lines. The way to get your opposing spirals to look their best is to have both spirals twisted at the same tightness in opposite directions. Because you are spinning your second set of lines the opposite direction, your first set of lines will have to be relatively twice as tight. Watch to see when both set of lines are even. Remove your puntee without twisting. Pull it off straight. Clean off any extra glass at the end of your art and continue removing glass from your termination until it's extremely clean. This is one of the most important parts in making this marble look good. Remember to keep the piece that you are tearing from out of the flame and only heat a very small portion. Condense your art in an elbow down position to help form a ball on the end of your rod. By condensing your lines into the rod and eventually looking at them through the clear glass, they will achieve an inside-out look. Once all of your art has been condensed, flatten it on a graphite pad. As you flatten your rod, slightly rotate it to ensure an even flattening. It is important to make sure that you have enough clear glass heated before you flatten it, so that when you flatten it, all of your art is underneath the clear glass. Recondense your art with an elbow up position. Having your rod slanted down at an angle will cause your art to condense further into the clear glass, almost as if your art was being sucked up into the marble. An elbow down position will cause the glass to ball up. Elbow up and elbow down do not necessarily mean you need your elbow up or down. The two positions can actually be performed with just a twist of the wrist. Finish condensing your marble until the half in the flame looks fairly round. Now heat up a larger clear rod. In my case, I am using 12 mil. Heat up a ball approximately the same size as the marble you have already created. Make sure your marble has cooled down enough so when applying the clear you don't distort your art. Press your new clear glass over the artwork. Try to cover at least all of your artwork. Once you have finished applying the clear glass, remove the rod, leaving the clear coat behind. This will eventually become the bottom of your marble. Condense the marble back into a round shape. Now your artwork should appear as a flat layer between two half circles of clear. The purpose of covering the back of your marble with clear is to preserve the art, which can distort, especially when applying marbles ornamentally. If you do not cover all of your art, some of the art will be left on the outside of the marble and can cause unwanted blemishes or spots of color that were not intended. Attach a coal punty. After making sure your punty is centered, remove the original rod, leaving as close to a round-shaped marble as possible. Now condense the front till you have a completely round surface. Now we will demonstrate a base head marble. Start by tearing and cleaning the end of a color rod. In this case, I am using Blue Moon. The striking colors tend to work better than others for these particular marbles. We will now draw clear dots. You will want to make sure that you have a clean end on the clear rod you will make dots with. Start by applying one dot where the rod starts to round. Apply more around the rod. Once you have drawn your dots around the rod, move down and draw dots in between your other dots. Put a final dot on the very tip of your rod. After finishing your dots, condense your dots into the rod. When you finish condensing your artwork into a ball shape, flatten your artwork. It is important to rotate the rod as you flatten it to ensure that everything is even. Condense the art in an elbow-up position. A combination of flattening the marble and condensing it in an elbow-up position will cause your art to tighten up and condense into the glass as shown in the diagram below. Sometimes flattening the marble twice will be necessary to achieve the desired condensing. After flattening, condense the marble and make sure that the surface of your art is completely rounded. Heat a clear rod and ball up an amount of clear glass similar to the size of your marble. Once again, press the clear glass over the artwork. Remove any extra glass and leave the clear coating. Condense the glass till a marble shape is formed.